Hello, friends, and welcome to today's episode of Booked. I'm your host, Saffron Asteria, and I'm joined today by John Davies. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm stuck in a train right now. Training home, and there's another train coming the other way. It's like a half hour away, so I'm stuck in this car for like an hour or so. So yeah, we'll be doing this from the train. That's all I'm doing. But it was a good day. A good day.
It does seem slightly poetic that, the beginning of Hobo with the Shotgun starts with the train. So, I mean...
That's true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's perfect. You know what else is funny? I've been reading Dungeon Crawler Carl. And I just started the third book, right before I came here. And it's all about him traveling through trains, I guess. He's just in trains, and I don't know what happens other than that. But then I left, and here I am in a train. So it's fate. Hopefully no monster's going to kill me.
Say again. Sorry, I think you cut out a little bit.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
I can hear you.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I can hear you.
That was hilarious. Okay, well, let's get on with the questions and things. So thank you so much for being here today. I know I gushed a little bit before we got on, but I absolutely fucking loved Hobo with a Shotgun, especially in my teens. That was like my comfort film, and this feels like a fever dream. So thank you so much for being here. I would love to know... Well, actually, no, I'm going to ask you this question that I've started asking people at the beginning of every show. When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I want to be a writer. I always wanted to be a writer. Nice. I always just want to tell stories.
Success, I think. That's pretty cool.
Getting there. I'm on the way, yeah.
You're still telling stories.
But yeah.
You've still done the thing.
Oh, I've done the thing, but yeah, success, I guess. I'm very happy with what I've done. I just have big ideas, big grand hopes, you know.
Well, so you
Castle in the clouds.
Sorry if there is a delay. I'm not talking over you on purpose. So, in terms of, let's start with your screenwriting side of things, because you are a screenwriter, but you also have written physical media, like books. Did you start off with the screenwriting side of things, or were you always writing stories? How did that all start for you?
For me, so it's interesting because I always wanted to write books. Ever since I was a kid, not just books, I always wanted to write really pulpy stories. I wanted to write just crazy things, for reasons kind of known, kind of unknown. But also, writing's terrifying. I'll be honest with you, and I think most writers know it, and I talk to them, and we sort of relate over this. Terrifying, because you put your brain on the paper and someone else is reading your brain, essentially. I know there's editors and stuff, but yeah, it's very scary. It's a very personal way to relate. So I was a very shy kid, and I grew up, and I just started making backyard films with friends. Like Jason Eisner directed Hobo with a Shotgun. We pretty much grew up as kids. He wanted to shoot stuff all the time, be a camera guy and direct, and I really wanted to tell stories, and we would just relentlessly make stories growing up, and that became sort of my outlet for it and a passion. And honestly, writing, I didn't even start. I wrote a little bit before Hobo, but it was college I actually started writing. Like, I would write essays and stuff, but actually attacking the format, I almost got kicked out of film school because we'd got so good at just going out and just making films on the spot, and we were really, we'd always be thinking and making up stuff. And it would flow well. Like, we'd get into it, and it was like you'd shoot a scene and think what would happen next. And so we were doing this on this huge project, and the person running our program was just like, look, guys, if you don't write a script, I'm kicking you out. Like, you can't be taking the gear and making your final project and just winging it the whole time. It's just like, you need to do it the way they do it in film. And so my first major writing experience, actually writing down what I was doing, was just writing the second half of the movie that we were making up as we go. So I wouldn't get kicked out of school. I did it over Christmas break so that I could come back in January. And so, like, here's my script. Can we stay in the program? Like, yeah, okay, you can stay.
But once again, we do continue to wait for the train traveling in the opposite direction to pass. As soon as they do, we should be moving along. Once again, thank you for your patience. If you do need assistance, you can find me in the middle of the train. Accessibility charges number 4531.
It is feeling like Dungeon Crawler, Carl. Now I'm being summoned to the middle of the train.
It
There's
does a
like an
little
exit
bit.
point or whatever that is.
Well,
Yeah,
I
if
didn't
there's
know
anything
there were
going
extra
on, like this
guests.
week. Yeah, that would be cool. I kind of wondered if there'd be other people. Maybe they just listen in and we have a little crowd, but there's no one around me.
You could pretend.
So yeah, I wrote to avoid getting kicked out of school.
Mhm.
But then the big thing that happened was, like, I met with Jay and some other my friends who were making. We kind of planned it out, but I started to learn right away what it took to actually, because you make a lot up on the moment, right? And so I had to start thinking about those things. And we shot the second half of the movie almost word for word from the script, and a lot of it I had come up with, and a lot of the strong ideas I'd sort of made up on the spot when I was writing it after we'd kind of hashed out the structure.
Mhm.
And it played just as well. No one ever said, the second half isn't as good as the first half. It was just a solid movie from beginning to end. The movie was called Fist of Death. It's a zombie kung fu film. It's like
Amazing.
this crazy thing. We ended up renting a theater out when we finished our college film. We rented out a movie theater and we sold it out. There was a huge lineup around the block for everyone coming to see this thing. But yeah, that was kind of my start of actually writing.
Mhm. Well, already
with this light behind me.
that's okay. Well, already it sounds like you do live in a movie. That's stuff that like movie kids do. That's not like a real life thing. I don't believe
feel
you.
like that.
It's crazy. So, from what I know, and I might be wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong, but Hobo with a Shotgun started off as like a theoretical short that you submitted for a contest, and then escalated from there. Is that right?
Well, it's interesting because yes, but also kind of no. So we would, in these backyard filmmaking, we were trying to come up with ideas to we were always kind of looking for great ideas. And I have a million story pitches. And one day we were trying to come up with an idea for a short film. And I met up with Jason and a buddy at a pizza shop. And we were just hammering out ideas, but I didn't really want to make the short film. I wanted to make something bigger. And so I was thinking in terms of that. And my friend, he just looked like a hobo. He had long, scraggly hair. And I was trying to think what he could play. And he was really into guns. And he had an airsoft shotgun. And I'm just it's not like it immediately went there, but I was looking at all the pieces on how to put something together. And when I came on Hobo with a Shotgun, it's just a zap of lightning hits your brain. And I said it, and everybody just piled on, and we started forming this thing. But we walked away, and we said, this story is so strong and executable because it's simple at the end of the day. A hobo with a shotgun, so the props and the demands are kind of doable. It was Jason. He was like, we should save it and do it as our first thing if we ever get a chance to make a feature. And it was 2 years or more before the trailer. And so we had kind of had this thing sitting in the back of our mind. So kind of like having a shotgun locked and loaded the moment the trailer contest came out. It was like, hey, let's do Hobo with a Shotgun. We didn't even really know what the prize was, but we knew it was big. It was on Ain't It Cool News where they announced it. So it's this could really mean, this could be our avenue to do our first feature. And so right from the beginning, we kind of had our eyes aimed on that.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you knew it was going to be worth holding on to. Okay, so the trailer was accepted, and then how did you get to a point where you were making it as a feature length?
It came to us. We went down, and honestly, Robert Rodriguez gave us some contract that we didn't sign. It was like a 5-picture deal or something, but we just heard so many horror stories about people who get locked into contracts. Sorry, nobody, if you're not established, you sign some multi-picture contract, but then you can't get your first picture made and you can't get out of it and you're stuck in there. So we were kind of terrified and we turned it down. I don't know if that was the right decision or not, but when we came back to Canada, there's a guy who was just really interested. He was so keen on it because it had made such a buzz, which was rare for, I think, Canadian films to have that sort of reception. That they came to us, and they were the ones who originally got it put into the screen, into the film. If you went and seen Grindhouse in Canada, Hobo with a Shotgun was part of Grindhouse. They hijacked and pirated the movie and added our trailer to it. It's crazy. And So then, yes, they found us money and they were like, go make this thing. And we set about making this insane movie.
It is insane. Like, it is. It's really hard to keep your mouth closed as you watch it, especially for the first time, because it's just like thing after thing after thing. And it's exactly because I love pulpy stuff. And I was so pleased when I realized that you actually like wrote books as well, because I was like, oh, I could get it from every angle. This is amazing. But I love like I love that sort of vibe where you can kind of just do whatever the fuck you want. And that's kind of why I like the indie scene quite a lot, because the rules are like disregarded a lot of the time, and that can make for something really, really fucking cool. So, I mean, it must have felt like a crazy dream, surely, like doing the first like funded feature length thing.
You know what it felt like, and I find anything good kind of feels like this.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of feel like you're breaking the law. Like, you got to feel like you're breaking the system. You're breaking the rules. Like, there was always this feeling, like, how the hell are we getting away with this? Like, how are we doing this? And every shot, every scene is something insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are they letting us make this in Canada? It was awesome.
It
felt
is
very irresponsible, but also super responsible.
Well, I assume you used fake blood a lot of the time.
Well, yeah. But I just mean, it was so crazy. That's like, how are they making it? But we just knew, because we were making films, like, but it'll work. Like, we knew it would work to some level, because that insanity, like, a lot of people are afraid of it. But like you loved it. It's like, people love that sort of level of, they just want to get into it. It's like jumping into a swimming pool full of craziness. I don't know.
And knives.
When I was writing it, I actually pictured it more of like a mosh pit than a movie. I would always think, this could be a film that people could get up and just mosh to all throughout. And I wanted that energy.
So
there's something to it, Yeah. No, go on.
No, sorry. I think it was the delay. It's okay. So how involved were you able to be in the actual making of the film? Were you able to like be on set a lot? What was that like?
Oh, very. Hold on. I think they're going to come over the speaker.
And as we do continue to wait for that train to pass us in the opposite direction, is about 15 kilometers away now. So it should be passing us in just a few minutes. Once again, as soon as that train does pass, we should be moving along.
All right, there you go. 15
Amazing.
kilometers away, and then the train will pass.
We do apologize for the inconvenience. So again, thank you for your patience.
They just sound irritated that they're saying, they don't want to be saying that. What was I saying? Sorry, catch me up. What was my last point?
You're able to be, you were sort of on set, and you were able to be quite involved.
Oh, yeah. Well, because like even me as a writer, like these differentiations grew over time, because it was just, for a while as kids, it was just making films, and so I would consider myself kind of a director / whatever. But over time, I wanted to write, so I just really focused on that. But always on set growing up, like I was always just making the films with it. So when we got to making it, I was just always in front of behind the monitor, or talking to people, or giving suggestions. A lot of it got written on the day too. It's like we had a film written, but just in that backyard film kind of sensibility, you want to be there in the moment to like grab whatever craziness you can to push it even further, to like juice every little bit you can out of the movie. So it was very much like that. Constantly, every night I'd go home and rewrite for 5 hours, and then I'd get back on set, and we'd be adding more stuff on set and rewriting, like constantly just trying to make it awesome all the time.
That's cool. So how do you manage at that point when you are like making last minute changes? How does that impact your relationship with like the actors, for example? Because they're gonna have to like learn stuff on the spot, or were they riffing? Like, how did that? Was it stressful?
It could be. There was one time Rutger wanted to change the order of 2 scenes. And he was right, but like I was just so irritated, because always changing, and I was always kind of in this, you get in this mood when you're just working 19 hours a day every day, where you're just right on your edge all the time. And I remember getting onto set, and they're like, Rutger wants to see you in the trailer. And I'd gone through the craft table, and he filled up my whole breakfast. I just dumped the whole thing in the garbage and walked off to talk to Rugger. Because it was like, it was just, there was a lot of pressure.
Mhm.
But we were also like, we were always good at, there's pressure, but at the end of the day, what's right for the film? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much stress you're under. It's just like, what's right? And I remember Rugger listening. But on the other hand, you know who really got upset about it? The AD department. They were like, because you go through color coding on changes. So you have your white draft, right, when you start, and then it's like pink and then blue and then green for every change. And you have all these different color pages that you add into your production binder.
Mm-hmm.
And we had gone so far that we'd gone through the colors. I forget if we made it all the way through double or triple, but it was like, we're on triple purple, guys. Like, this is insane. How is anyone supposed to keep up? And so it wasn't like just it was the whole crew. We're kind of like, this is crazy. And they'd always just see me. It didn't matter. Like, it was, it's funny to think about. I haven't thought about it for so long, but it was just like, there was so much complaining about it, but people loved it at the same time. It's like, you got to understand, people were like, this isn't how it's done. This is crazy. But we grew up making backyard films where these are the rules. It's like the only real rule is make it awesome. And so it doesn't matter what you guys think. It doesn't matter if we're on like quadruple 8 purple or blue or whatever. It's like, if the idea is sick, we got to do it. It's like, why wouldn't we?
I think it's cool that you had that level of artistic license, and you weren't like, sounds like you weren't really reined in very much. And that is probably the ideal scenario for you.
I think the great thing is the person reining us in on set was our friend Rob Cotterill, who's like the main on-set producer. And he's just one of us, right? Like he kind of operates, he was the AD of Trailer Park Boys. So that's another sort of, I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it's hugely popular in Canada. And and like made right in Dartmouth. It's funny. It's like right in the city I grew up in, this little East Coast, Nova Scotia. This other thing had come, but they had a very similar approach. It was a very, we're going to do what we want. We're going to make something awesome. We're not going to play by the rules. And it was a huge success. So he got it. And everyone else was just kind of watching it and having fun. It was like a roller coaster, I think.
Amazing. Do you ever like yearn to go back to that place, like to be back on set and doing stuff like that again?
Yes and no. I do, like, my real pleasure is I'm in such a creative sort of, when I'm writing it, I love it. I do love the energy on set. Yes, I do. I do want to be back there. Right now I want to write books, but I do think it's going to lead back to movies. I think I'm going to get good at, like, because, Hobo with a Shotgun was 15 years ago. Like, if I was writing books, I would have like 20 books out by now. And I feel like 7 or 8 of them would probably be movies. So that's kind of my mindset now, is just like pump up books. And I love that mental space. And I think it'll give me a little more room if I'm focused on the books and then like hopping out on set. Although we'll see how it goes. I don't know. Because like when you're writing the script, it's one thing. But I imagine for a lot of these, I don't know how much more script writing I'll do versus how much more, whatever the opportunities are, we'll see if it comes out. Right now, I'm very much in book mode, but you never know.
Books that track train getting pretty close now. You should see them pass in just a few minutes.
Oh, we could watch it pass when it passes.
As soon as they do pass, we should be moving.
We'll be able to see it.
We're getting some extra
Amtrak
production value today.
Oh yeah, how many train shots do you usually get?
I don't think I've had any yet. I've had inside of the car shot and also outside of a cafe just before fireworks shot. But this is the first train. So
that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So before we move on to talking about Man versus Bear, would you say versus?
Okay.
Or Man v Bear?
Sure.
It's versus, isn't it?
I'd say versus.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're the writer, so you're the author, so I'm going to go by what you say. I just wanted to say hi to a few people that have jumped into the chat. So apparently Chris needs to see the Holy Train now. So if you see the train, feel free to show us as it goes past.
Oh, I will. It'll be coming right by here. Oh, look, it's almost like it's polarized, so it'll look nice too.
Amazing.
It'll be a really good shot.
It's lovely. We also have JM that has joined us in the chat. Hello. And we also have Tyler Kirk, who said that you look like Peter Jackson in the thumbnail, so we had to watch the show.
Good.
I think it's weird, probably. Anyway, so
I cleaned up a bit since then.
You've had a bit of a trim. There's a trim going on. So I read Man vs. Bear, and I'm a big music fan. I love metal, and I like violent books. So this was a win for me, I have to say. So why did you write this particular book? Because I believe, is it the first like published book that you have put out there?
Yeah, it's my first book. Mm-hmm. It's funny. It's not because I was deeply it was almost the opposite of why you might put out a book. Because like I said, I have so many stories, and they're all fighting to get a way out. And I play a bit of guitar too. I was playing guitar in a show. It was just like me and my girlfriend, and we were playing, and it was a break. And I went out and I had a break, and I'm having a cigarette, and these guys are there, and we get talking. I was actually teaching story writing at a college for a little bit, and it comes up, and they're like, "Oh, well, how do you come up with a story?" And it's like, well, that's a good question. And there's lots of ways that many, and it's actually quite beneficial to take a route quite a bit, because that's the same thing that happened with Hobo with Shotgun. It's like I chose a way to create a story. And I said, I kind of quickly explained that, which is the Robert Rodriguez method. We can get into that later if you want. But for this point, I say, just take two things. It's like, what versus what? It's like, who do you want to be the good guy? Who do you want to be the bad guy? And maybe just deconstruct it a little. It's like, okay, so you got one thing versus another thing. And then why? Ask yourself a lot of why and what does that mean? And so let's just say a man versus a bear. What is just two things? I said, why would a man be versus a bear? And then I thought about it for a second. I said, well, maybe he's like drunk and he hits her cub. Like that would piss the bear right off. Like a mama bear would kill you. I was like, yeah, that's cool. But then it's like, I've written a bit, so it's like, but what's it all about? If he hits her cub, like, why? What does that mean? I don't know that I needed to go that deep, but I did. And I thought, well, if he messes her cub, he fucks his cub up. Like, he's got something, this is a maternal thing. He's got that same sort of side on his life. Like, he's messed up. Oh, train.
Oh,
Amtrak.
Amazing.
There it goes. Oh, it was a little one. Now we're going to get another overhead thing. All right, everybody, we're going to be going now. Let's see, maybe there's two of them. But let me just go until they say. So, what was I saying? Because I'm losing myself on the tangents. And so, so the idea of the mother and, chasing her down, and then the equivalent, it's like, well, he messed up his love life. There's something there, You read the book. There's something there. And he broke it. He broke something that he never should have broken, which was love. And so now he's got to have this ultimate punishment. He's broken something on the other side, and there's a force coming at him. And I thought, well, why would he do that? Like, why would he break it up? And then I just thought, metal bands are notorious for that. It's like, hey, like, you can't, bros before hoes kind of thing. Don't mess with the music. So I thought, okay, so you have, and it's over the course of one cigarette. I just said, so this guy's in a metal band, and they pretty much force him to break up with this girl who he shouldn't, because she's the one he actually loves and very important to him. He's never going to find another one. Like, she's the one. And so then life kind of throws him a huge hardball, in the form of a giant mother bear that's going to kill him. And they dug it. They were just like, you should write that. And I thought, yeah. Actually, I want to write a book, and it had a sort of simplicity in its strength, and also relating back to the meme of the man versus bear and other things like, the meme about you always choose the bear, and I kind of recognize it. It's like he kills her cub. Like, he's not the most likable guy, so you're actually going to root for the bear, and and it can become in the same way you could look deeper about Hobo with a shotgun, but you really don't need to. It's something you could look deeper into, but you really don't need to, and I just saw that element, which I really like. Like, I often describe my writing kind of Steinbeck if Roger Corman did it. It's like I'm trying to say something deep, but I'm trying to bury it in so much insanity that you might miss the point. It probably should. It's like that's kind of the point. It's there if you want to get it, and it's easily missable because it's so base if you don't.
Yeah.
Like you do, you know. And so yeah, that was kind of that. It was just like it worked out that way. And also then I remember that one time. It's funny, after all that, then I remember, oh yeah, there was that one time I was living in a cottage in northern Nova Scotia in this place called Malagash. I was working at a winery. We're on the move. Hold on.
We are about 25 kilometers out from St. Catharines. Unfortunately, we are running about 45 minutes late right now because of that delay way back in Toronto, as well as waiting for that Amtrak train here.
Is he done? I think he's done.
We'll try about to make up a little bit of time here. But anyways, picking you up, just to let you know, yeah, we're running about 45 minutes late. We'll get into St. Catharines about 7:45, a little bit later. And Niagara Falls, then will be about 8:15. Once again, we do thank you for your patience. Out of our deal with these delays, unfortunately out of our control. I will provide any other updates if anything changes.
It's like
St. Catharines will be our next stop.
I'm gonna
Did you
make
hear
a
he
clip
was
show.
doing?
Just about one.
He was doing the Family Guy thing. There's an episode where I swear Quagmire's joking about like holding on to the last syllable. He was doing that. It's like every S. He was like, "We're going to Niagara Station."
Oh,
I guess that would have an S at the end, but yeah, he was doing it. Oh yeah. So my story is, I was working at this cottage. I was working at fixing my family cottage, working at a winery, and I got invited to this party. And it was right across the street, very close to the winery and my cottage. And so I go there, and I never had moonshine. Like I'm not like big city, but like little Nova Scotia city, Dartmouth. And so I'm not a moonshine kid. And they had Jello moonshine shooters. And I was like, okay, let's go, moonshine era. And I had a couple. And then I forget why, but I had to go home for something. And so I hop in the car because I'm a big guy. You don't see it, but I'm 6'5", and I'm a big guy. And I'm driving home and feeling like all of a sudden like this moonshine hits me, and just 2 drinks, right? But it's like suddenly feels like I had 7 or 8, and I'm like, whoa! And I'm like kind of like blinking and all over the road a bit. It's like this, I shouldn't be driving. And like red lights already going on in my mind, and then all of a sudden there's a black bear and a whole row of cubs right in front of me, and I slam on the brakes, and I didn't kill them. But I feel that incident must have been in the back of my mind when I pitched the story.
Yeah, no kidding. I was getting
that's kind of the story.
When you described that, I was getting twitchy. So thank you for clarifying.
What's that?
Thank you for clarifying that there was no murder in real life. I'm glad about that.
Yeah, just fiction.
So, before we continue, so Ross, John is filming from a train, which is booked first. It's very exciting, and we got to see a train go past. It's been a whole thing. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a clip show of just the announcements. It's like a trailer for this episode.
It's maybe like it's a lot of the podcast.
Yeah, it's been. Do you know what? It's been a good laugh, and I've enjoyed it. So you have already described yourself as somebody who is like, you like to workshop stuff, and you like to be very in the moment, and you've also described a lot of like collaborative creativity. So when it comes to actually sitting down and writing a book, do you have to get into a different mindset, or do you still like just go kind of bananas with it?
I'm like a cat. It's like there's 2 routes.
Okay.
One, I'm like a cat. I gotta like be in my space and really like get comfortable with it. And it starts out slow, but if I stay continuous at it, it doesn't come supernatural. Or I smoke a joint. If I smoke a joint, I've trained my brain to kind of like, I did. It's like one day it's like, what if it's like I can do this. I either want to play guitar or I want to write once I smoke a joint. And then if I can't do that, I actually get highly anxious. So I only do it at home or when I can focus on my work somewhere. But it is like I don't know, maybe it's irresponsible, but That's kind of like my get out of jail free drug for writing.
Amazing.
But even with that, it's like, yeah, I find writing it consumes you because it takes so much thought to come up with these ideas, and it can be hard when you're sitting down there to like constantly have good ideas. And so I've had to build a whole bunch of mental tools and philosophies and ways of looking at it to get through that. But the more you do it, like as you get to the end, especially like, I love finishing a first draft because the second draft becomes hugely consuming, and like that's when you really get drawn in. The first is a slog and it's difficult and you're just slashing through the weeds, but then like the cleanup on the second, and the further you go, the more you polish it, I find the more you just can't stay away from it. And honestly, like with screenplays or scripts in the beginning, it's like I'm always thinking about it, but I'm dabbling at it and I'm kind of poking the bear kind of deal. But by the end, I wake up at 5 a.m. and I stay up till 1 a.m. and I just go obsessively nonstop until it's finished, and I can't stop. It's like it grows into this sort of fever pitch where it's like it's all I can do and think about. So that's the way it's always been for the writing process.
I can relate to that because I'm in like the throes of the second draft of my debut, and the first draft was like pulling teeth. Like I desperately wanted to tell the story, but I just couldn't get it out of me because I was like, I was trapped in this idea that the first draft has to be like some level of perfection that was just unattainable. And I was like, I'll just write a shit ending and it'll be fine. And then it was fine, and now it's okay because now I can see what the issues were. But until you get it out and start working with it, like you just kind of get lost. I find what I do anyway. Yeah, it's
yeah, you don't know until you know. It's like after you get through the best method is to know that you're writing garbage. Or like not that it's truly garbage, but like be very open and accepting of that, because it helps you a lot. Just when you're feeling bad, it's like it's fine. It's supposed to be. I'm just throwing ideas at the board and slog through it. Like I wouldn't even suggest even thinking about writing well until like your 8th or 9th or 10th draft. Like I just go through and smooth all the details until finally I have the story, and it's like, okay, now I pretty much write it from scratch, but I know it, so I'll try to write it and make it sound good.
You kind of forge a path for the storyline. Like I think that's half of the issue, is being able to get from point A to point B and knowing all the directions you're going to take to get there. And it's how you convey that as like imagery to the reader so that they can see in their head almost exactly what you're seeing. And I find that's like one of the hardest things, is like there's all this like mad stuff going on, and if I were to write it down exactly on paper, it wouldn't make any sense, so that I have to translate it into like normal language so that people can actually understand what I'm trying to get at.
But you should. But you like that's what I'm saying, especially in your first draft, like anything. And then any of your bunch, you just like you're throwing it out there. You want you want to pull back. You don't want to push forward. I mean, that's the hobo with the shotgun method, right? You want to push forward and like go too crazy oftentimes. Really think about, let those things fly. And then, because when you read it, you're going to smooth. If it doesn't sound right on a reread, you're either going to make it work or you're going to drop it at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we start,
sorry if I didn't answer your question perfectly. It's actually kind of noisy right now, so I may have I wasn't sure if I even heard what you said properly.
No, that was a great answer. Thank you. So before we came onto the live, you said that you're working on a new book, or like you've almost finished a new book. Could you tell us a bit about it?
About my new book? So my new book. So like I said, like Man vs. Bear came out because I had an idea that, it's straightforward, it's cool, but I could just gun through it and kind of write this book and, just break the ice on my book writing career, because it is something I wanted to do since I was literally 5 years old. So once that's out, now I'm going back to a story that I've been developing longer than Hobo with a Shotgun in my head. It's like some real crazy sort of 14-year-old shit that's matured for, it's like a fine wine of a 14-year-old's fever dream story. And there will be many more like this, but the first one, so it's called Shark Wolf.
Amazing.
And I'll just give you the pitch. I'll give you the pitch if you can hear it over all the creaking.
Just about.
So this kid, it's about this or where it starts, like it's about a guy, a famous guy, but he's kind of telling you his story about where he came from, which has been secret. It's like this has all been covered under NDAs, and we're in a world where he would be the Hulk Hogan of the world, but in law, the Hulk Hogan of law.
Okay.
And but still, like 5-year-old kids know this guy, and he's a superstar, and he's Shark Wolf, and he's like, this is where I came from, the story I could never tell you, the final like tell-all memoir. And so then we're hearing this story about a kid who, you know, he dreamt of being a lawyer his whole life. He just really wanted to be a courtroom lawyer, and he loved the law and he loved it. But, you know, in this world, the world of courtroom law is very secret. Nobody knows what's going on in there, and it's confusing. But the only people who seem to get close to it are these huge dudes like Hulk Hogan, who look like jacked wrestlers, like these scary, crazy people. And he doesn't get it. He doesn't understand it, but he loves the law. So he grows up and he learns the law, and he becomes like a very knowledgeable sort of savant of the law.
Mm-hmm.
And in the story, he gets a job at a prestige firm working with this courtroom lawyer that he kind of went through law school with. But he puts together this case. It's just foolproof. He puts together his master case, but they lose in court. And he doesn't understand because it just goes into this black box of court. And he goes to his boss, because also the guy, he was like the courtroom lawyer, is now gone. Like he's just not in the story anymore. You don't know if he died or quit, or there's some sort of clearly fake story about him. And he's like, what's going on here? You know, you tell me the secrets of the courtroom now, or I'm leaving. And he's like, no. And you know that this guy's important. Like actually knowing the law, even though you don't know the courtroom, knowing the law is still very important. And so his boss is like, I can't tell you, man. But he really presses him. And so the boss finally tells him the secret of the courtroom law, which is that it's more like a blood sport. You know, this is Mortal Kombat. And what you bring in, like your case, it can arm you with, you know, bonuses, kind of like Dungeon Crawler Carl, funny enough. Like I'm reading it now, but this idea is way before. But this idea, like you're entering into this unexpected world that is very different than, you know, it's just secret. It's just not what you'd want. But he armed his guy with weapons against this other dude. But then it still came down to a blood sport in the courtroom. And the people they're coming at that went he was against, they just beat him. And in a way, you know, you learn, I can't give away all the secrets. There's a lot there, but he's so distraught, this kid. He's just like, man, like his whole reality has been shattered. And so he kind of goes in this blackout state where he just walks away, and he's walking through town. He's wandering away, and he doesn't come to till nighttime, and it's freezing out. And he's like, oh man, it's like I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm by the woods. He goes in the woods and he lights a fire. He's got his little briefcase, so he lights a fire with legal files because it's just like leaving the world behind him. But then, as it's burning, he starts to hear wolf howls. And he's like, what is that? There's a wolf out there. And he hears it getting closer. It's like, oh no, there's wolves coming towards me. He grabs a stick to fend it off, but it's like coming so fast and it sounds huge. He starts to run. So he hears this thing chasing him through the woods, and he runs, but then he comes to the side of a cliff, and he's like, oh no, I'm trapped. And he turns around, and this werewolf comes out of the woods. Like, oh shit, he's been like hunted down by a werewolf. And the thing pounces, and it fights him, and he's fighting back, but it bites him, and he falls off the cliff, and he's bleeding as he's turning into a werewolf, and he hits the water. And, you know, the sharks around. He lands in the ocean. There's all these sharks around where he lands, and they just smell his blood, and they attack him. So as they're trying to kill him and like ripping him apart, he's turning into a werewolf, but the shark saliva mixes with the werewolf DNA, and he becomes a shark wolf. And then he like starts fighting these sharks off, and he gets back in anyway. You know, there's a lot more story. That's just the setup. It's like an origin story for a superhero kind of weird law thing. But now that he's a shark wolf, he can become the ultimate courtroom lawyer, and it's like him on these awesome battles in the secret world of law that is more like a Mortal Kombat video game. And I just think it'll be a lot of fun and like insane and crazy. It's like I want it to be one of those things where every page you're like, oh my gosh, what is happening? This book is like at the same time insane, but exactly what I knew I always wanted from childhood, and like in this exact insane thing. Kind of like Hobo feels. It's like you're watching, it's like this is so creative, but it's somehow exactly what I needed and wanted for some people like yourself.
I cannot wait to read that. That sounds absolutely fucking epic. At no point could
It's
I
gonna be
guess
so fun.
what you were going to say next, if I'm being totally honest. But that's my
Good.
favorite kind of thing.
Yeah, and there's elements to it, and it could go on. I could see it becoming a series. I could see it like people like John, you're crazy, or it becoming a series. Or I want to work with comic book artists on it actually too, and like develop a sort of side, because it goes into this world of courtroom law where it's like ultimately in the future, like kids are watching the courtroom like Saturday morning cartoons, and he opens up the court in the long run, and so I want to make a series of comics to kind of promote it. We'll see how it goes. I'm meeting with someone this weekend, but you know, these sort of epic courtroom battles of Shark Wolf, and these quick little fun stories about it. I'm very excited. It's just crazy. Like it's just half shark, half wolf. It's like awesome, but stupid.
Yeah. It's batshit, to be honest, but like in a good way. But it sounds like it would absolutely lend itself to being a comic book, because as you were describing it, I was like flitting through like comic strips, like trying to play it through in my head. That would absolutely work for sure. This time has gone by so fast. It must be because of the speed of the train. But I do have a couple of questions that I'd like to ask you before you leave, if that's okay. Do you have time?
Yeah.
Awesome. So
there's a guy who's trying to drop my car off, trying to get a hold of me, but I'm going to text him back.
Oh, do you need to do that now?
No. Are we done at 8? Or are we done? How long are we going? A full hour?
No. We'll be done in like 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Let's just do it, and then I'll message him. This train's delayed anyway. He's going to have to wait.
Okay. Well, I mean, hopefully he's watching the show while he's waiting for you. But so
that'd be funny.
So the two questions that I always ask people, and I feel like you kind of answered one of these earlier, but I'd like to get like a sort of straightish answer about it. So as I'm going to say, as a writer overall, not just an author, what does success look like to you?
I think to me, I mean, I have to feel blessed at what I've already had. I do think like there's a lot of people, like I'm certainly still a broke writer. It's insane how long it takes you to get out of being a broke writer. But, you know, with Hobo and the success I've had, you know, I've done well. But I think it's you can measure in a lot of ways, but I would love just a simple life where I don't stress too much about money and survival. And I'm just like, I'm free to just create. Like I just ultimately the freedom to do what I want to do more. And, you know, just be comfortable with it. Like I would just love to be like, I'm literally selling books every day to like keep it going and to like make sure it's a success. And it is. It's like I'm doing well, and it's actually a cool story that people are liking. But I'm very much dreaming of, I don't know, having a little house somewhere, just sitting in there and all day like pumping out crazy. Almost becoming like an R.L. Stine would be awesome. Maybe a little slower, where I'm not releasing a Goosebumps book every month, but like every 3 or 4, I could see like here's another crazy little novella story. Here's a, you know, just throwing stuff at people. So yeah, that just like being trapped, or not trapped, but like just freely being able to create stories and not have any stress around it.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're giving yourself the right kind of momentum to get to that point. And it's just a case of like not giving up, which I doubt you would ever do. I feel like you would just keep going until the end anyway. So my last question for you is, I don't know what period of time this would be for you. So you can pick any random time and I won't be able to know. But if you could go back to when you first started writing and taking it like semi-seriously and give yourself any advice, what advice would you give?
I'd probably go right back to when I was, you know, a 5-year-old kid. And because I'll be honest with you, day 1 of grade primary, you know, first day of school, I went in and I asked the teachers, like, you know, I want to be a writer. When are we going to learn how to write stories? And I remember them saying this year, and literally every year until like grade 9. So 10 years into school, we did one semester or like one little session. It was amazing. And then like, I would say that, you know, so little time spent creative writing. I would tell myself what I kind of telling you about the first draft. It's like, don't worry about it, no pressure. Just write it down, and you'll find it in the rewrite. Like that's the best advice I think any writer could have. It's like stop. Like a lot of it for me is about getting rid of stress. It's like don't stress. Just write it down, let it be bad, and trust that you're a better rewriter than a writer because everybody is, and that's truly the secret to it. It comes down to just let it go, get it out, go over, and you'll read it smoother each time. And yeah, have fun with it.
Amazing.
And trust in it. It is. Yeah, and I think if I did that as a kid, I'd probably be on my 700th book by now or something.
Well, you've still got a lot of life in you, so you better keep writing. I am very much looking forward to seeing what you do next, and I will be keeping my eye on whatever releases you have because it's the right level of crazy for me, and I am very much into it. So thank you so much.
Very good. Very good.
I really appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you.
Of course. Sorry, there is a weird delay.
I appreciate yours too. Thanks. Yeah. Your image has literally been frozen this whole time. I'm just trusting that it works.
Amazing. I mean, I can see us both moving on both sides. So as long as you can hear me, that's fine. So I just want to thank everyone who came to watch the live today. And if you're watching the recording, thank you as well for checking the show out. There is a QR code to find Man vs. Bear, and it's just over in the corner. And I've also put a link in the description. So I've made it very easy for you. You should go check this out. Thank you again. And hopefully I'll see you around at some point. I'm gonna say goodbye now because there's a really long delay and I don't know how long it's gonna be till you get that message.
I'm just hearing it. It's funny. My delay hasn't been too bad, but I got 2 text messages right at the end. I just glitched it right out. Are we saying goodbye? It's been such a pleasure.
It has been a pleasure.
Thanks, everybody. I hope people watch this and enjoy it.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will.
And thanks for having me on, Saffron.
Of course. Thank you for being here.
Good.
I hope you get home safe and good luck with your car. And I will see you later on. Goodbye.
All right. Have a great night. Bye.
Bye.